when I first started coming here, it was just a wonderful place, as it is today, but a different kind of wonderful place. There was nothing but sand and sky and sea and surf and beautiful sunshine and beaches for miles and miles without anyone on them. And so it's an idyllic setting for a little kid to come spend the summers with his grandparents. And to get here, you either had the choice of taking the ferry from Engelhard across the Swain, which was about a 3.5-hour trip, chugging along at a very slow speed. Or your other choice was to drive the beach. And we would spend as much time driving the beach coming here as we did taking the ferry from Engelhard. But when the old ferry would take you from the north side of the Oregon Inlet and bring you across Old Wooden Ferry, and I suppose Toby Tillett was probably running that ferry at that time. I'm not really certain. And this was back in the latter 40s as I started remembering things. They would drop the ramp on the beach or on the shore side. There was no paved roads or anything like that. And you drive the car off, and my father would wait until low tide. We didn't have four-wheel drive. It was the family car. We'd wait till low tide, and the surf was hard, and let the air out of the tires and take off down the beach. So we drove 60 miles from Oregon Inlet to Hatteras. If anything happened to the car along the way, you just sat there and waited until the next person may come along who may help you and who may not be able to help you. And, of course, if you judged the tides wrong, you could find yourself in a lot of trouble with, the encroaching sea and very little space to drive on. That was hard. I remember on one occasion, Daddy had just bought a new car for us. It's not a new car, but we decided to take that trip down to the beach in that car. And I don't know exactly where this incident took place, but somewhere between Buxton and Oregon Inlet, the car ran hot, and steam was flying out from under the hood of the car, and it was just wondering, what are we going to do? And Dad opened the hood and saw that there was sort of a small pinhole opening in the hose pipe that led to the radiator, and there was enough hose play in that he could cut that off and pull it over and put the clamp down. But we'd lost all the water, and there's water everywhere, but not fresh water in Hatteras. And so he went over to the beach and took a little bucket and filled it with water and carried it back to the car and filled the radiator with salt water. What choice did he have? And we drove on to grandmother's house and spent the weekend. He flushed the radiator there and put some fresh water in, but when he got back home, he traded the car immediately. We don't know who inherited the car, but anyway, that was an experience that I had driving the beach back in the days when there were no roads and no communication to amount to anything. It's a neat time to remember.
Do you remember seeing the buses?
Yes, I've ridden the buses with Stocky Midget, yeah. Sure did. We'd ride a while, push a while, ride a while, push a while. But yes, that was quite a ride. As a matter of fact, that was the most enjoyable ride because in the bus, with very little shocks and that kind of stuff on it, for a little kid to get in the back seat and hold on the back, you'd hit the camelbacks, I guess you'd call it, as you ride down the beach. That was a lot of fun.
And that was bus service from where to where?
It was from Hatteras Village to Manio. Hatteras Village to Manio.
With stops along the way?
With stops along the way, yeah.
Imagine you met some interesting people.
Well, I'm sure, yes. But they were mostly local people. I mean, the tourist industry had not opened up, and this was all wasteland out here then. But there's some interesting local people, to say the least.
And then when did you move back to here?
I moved back here after I retired from teaching. I taught for 37 years and moved here in 2000.
Certainly a big difference from the early photos.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we have running water now, we have TV now, and internet service now, and all those kinds of things. And none of that existed then. We didn't have indoor plumbing. Caught all of our water in cisterns, and stored it in cisterns off the roof of the house. So wonder we didn't all die from gulls flying over and leaving their deposits, and then the rain washing it in the cistern, and we drank it and didn't boil it. It didn't make any difference. Build up our immunity system, I'm sure.
I think we're good. Chris. Thank you.
How many hours of tape do you have?
I have quite a few tapes.